Good morning. Assalamu alaikum. So we are continuing the discussion that we started a few weeks ago on what happened to Syeda Fatima Zehra after the death of the Prophet. This is the sixth part of the holistic discussions that we've been having. There are 5 other parts which paint a very good picture, very interesting picture of how we are approaching. If you're really interested in like how we are approaching, I would really recommend the last podcast to understand our 8-step process to understand the reality of the events, ranging from historical context, logical arguments, contextual evidence. As part of the contextual evidence, we will discuss with Dr. Hathim how to evaluate this event with historical examples. This discussion will be divided into several parts, inshallah, and will be very informative, enlightening, and eye-opening. I hope you join us on this investigative journey of reflection and realization, and I'll hand it over to Dr. Hathim.
To search for the truth about what has happened exactly to Syeda Fatima Zehra سلام الله تعالى عليها وعلى أبيها وبعلها وبنيها والسر المستودع فيها. Just I want to make some quick notes. I think it will be helpful for you as an investigator, because I consider you now like an investigator. You try to investigate. There is a case. There is a case in front of you, and you want to investigate it like any detective.
Right.
And you try to be as neutral as you can, so you'll be effective.
Mm-hmm.
So that, of course, your work, it shouldn't be directed to only to the Shia people or to the Sunni people, or your scope should be more bigger than this. You are making that as to present a case to the humanity. That's a crime.
Right.
Happened in the history, and you want to present it to the whole humanity. The same line which I try to follow when I wrote down this book, Karbala Tribunal. That's exactly what I was trying to do. I consider myself like an investigator, neutral investigator, and try to present the case to the whole humanity, not just the Sunni or the Shia, based on logics and based on witnesses and based on historical facts. By that, you can reach a reliable conclusion.
Yes.
So,
and the book, just for the audience, the name of the book is The Karbala Tribunal, right?
Yes. So the audience should be, or the target of your talk should be not a specific group. You are making you are trying to presenting the truth to whoever want to accept the truth. From every 10 people, you find just one ready to accept the truth. 9 were rejected anyway.
Right.
So who care for those?
Right.
You try to make your effort for anyone who want to see the truth, that here the truth is there.
Yes.
If he didn't want to it, so okay, what you can do with him?
Right. Yes.
You become like the electric outlet. If somebody needs the electricity, he can use the outlet. But if somebody is not interested, you can't force him to use the electricity and have some lights.
Yes.
Or some appliances working. What you can do, but you try to make sure that the electric current is there. If he want to look for it, he can see it, he can use it. Otherwise, it is up to every individual person. So it is not a fight between you and some Sunni people who try to make sure which one is on the right side or not on the right side. It shouldn't be like that at all.
Right.
You are just look for the truth.
Yes.
From the history and from the witnesses of the history itself.
Right.
Yes. So there is some quick notes here I have to make. First, because of that, we can't approach the tragedy of Syeda Fatima Zehra alayhi salam from the religious approach, because this will put you in front of some figures which has some sanctity for some people. So that is not the good approach.
Mm-hmm. Right.
The proper approach to what has happened to Syeda Fatima Zahra alayhi salam is the political approach.
Mm.
How to approach the story, not from the political side, not from the religious side. You approach it from the political side.
Got
I
it.
can give you an example what I mean. For
Mm-hmm.
example, now the nuclear deals now
Mm-hmm.
going on between the Islamic Republic and the West.
Right.
Yes, it has at the end the cover of religion because the Islamic Republic is a religious state.
Mm-hmm.
But the talks, the negotiation itself, it is purely politics,
Right.
right? So yes, it is maybe under a bigger umbrella of religion, but the talks itself is purely religion. So those delegates, the Iranian delegates there, they didn't go in the negotiations telling them that is the Prophet said and Allah said and the Quran said, and no, they talk politics now. What is
Right.
your benefits? What is my benefits? What is the politics? When we talk about the politics, now you have a growing state. Islam start to be not just a religion, it become a state based on this religion. And the state means what? It means that there is a power, political power now. There is the wealth will come to this state. There is some political affair which will enter now in the whole issue. It didn't become pure religion like before. You can compare what happened with Isa, Jesus alayhi salam, and the Prophet Muhammad. Jesus does not have a state,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there was no political aspects to his movement. It was purely
Mm.
religious. But for Islam, no. At the end of the life of the Prophet, and since the Hijrah, actually, the state start to form, and it was growing, and the state start to have an army, a population, economy. So it has all the characteristic of a state. And whenever you find a state, you find a struggle for power. That is the nature of politics of any
Mm-hmm.
state. Oh, and the struggle for power and the struggle for wealth too,
Right.
because that's what we see in any political system in any country, in any state now, since the time of the development of politics on the
Mm.
planet. So here if we use this approach to discuss what happened to Syeda Fatima Zahra on the light of the political situation, that is the Prophet left back a state.
Right.
He assigns the guardianship of this state to somebody, but there was some people, and that is natural. That is natural. You can Nobody need to be convinced of that, because that is the nature of these
Right.
things. And that's the difference between you taking the religious approach. Oh, this is Abu Bakr can never do that. What? Now, no, we are talking about a political
Mm-hmm.
approach. The Prophet is leaving the world and leaving behind a state, a wealth. And definitely people are people. Some of them are eager to take this or to inherit this state with all its promising wealth, all its promising authority and the proudness. They like to take that. So there was a political struggle since the death of the Prophet, and on the shadow or through the approach of this political look at the matter, now we can approach the story of Syeda Fatima Zahra alayhi salam.
Mm.
Not just purely religious, not just to talk about Syeda Fatima alayhi salam, her value in Islam, her virtues in Islam. That is a religious approach.
Right.
No, just set that aside and let's give me the politics of the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the politics of the time. There is a group of people, the establisher of the state has died,
Mm-hmm.
and now start the fight or the struggle for the inheritance of the bar. And that's, by the way, it's so logic because regular people can see it happen in front of them in every country every day.
Right.
Every day. You can see that when any leader died, you find many people that when Gandhi died, a lot of people behind him struggled together to gain the power or to inherit whatever state he established. Same thing for Mao Zedong. Same thing for Lenin in Russia. In any country, you notice that, so it becomes logic and it can reach all people.
Right.
If you use this approach,
Yep.
which has nothing to do with the religion so far.
Right.
Okay, that is one of the main points. So the second point I just want to make that everything has a cause and effect. You know that.
Yes.
Any event is an effect, and you want to look for the cause of this effect. Why this effect happened, from where it stemmed, where is the seed of this tree, where in the ground the seed of this tree.
Good.
And I give you an example here. For example, something all of us can see, this attack on the Capitol building on January 6th here in the United States. All the world witnessed that.
Yep.
So that was effect. But what was the cause of this? Why we reached to that point? This depends on the smartness of the researcher, because there is no one answer for this.
Right.
The researcher who try to research, based on his smartness and intelligence, he can look to find what was the cause of this. The cause was the presence of Trump, or no, there was different cause, and he tried to keep following the trace until he reached the exact cause of this effect which we witnessed on January 6, 21. So there is no one answer, but all depend on the thoughtfulness of the researcher. For example, for me, if I am a researcher and I try to find where was the cause of what has happened in the Capitol, the attack on the Capitol, and this horrible scene we witness, if I am a researcher, I can tell you exactly, that's my point of view. I can't enforce it on any person, but this is my opinion. You can be convinced with it or not. My opinion that this effect started, or the cause of it come starting from the 2012, when Barack Obama wins the election and he becomes the president of the United States, the first black American to be the president of the United States. So the seeds of what has happened in 21 has been implanted on 2012, because that cause, it start to increase or to make annoying in the white community, in the white America. And this start to increase and grow until it explode finally on the January 6th.
Right.
See, so that is my opinion. Any other researcher can look for another cause, but definitely any effect has its cause before it. I just give that an example from the recent modern time. We can correlate to it.
And I think one thing that as in general, like business school and other places, wherever like people are taught to think about regular business problems, the question, a good framework that is used as 5 whys, to ask like, why did this happen? And then again ask, why did that happen? Then again ask, why did that happen? Then again ask, like 5 times. If you do that at least like 5 or 6 times, you'll be near the root cause of the problem.
Yes, yes, very good, very good. So now we return back to the story of Fatima Zahra alayhi salam. So the attack of the house on the house of Syeda Fatima Zahra alayhi salam,
Mm-hmm.
that was an effect.
Yes.
What was the cause? The same thing, we have to go back and look from where this stem from, where the seeds which start all that, where the main nests of the insect which lead to all this population of insects around us.
Mm-hmm.
We have to keep looking for that, from where is this stem. If I am a researcher and I try to go and look, I found that there is not just one cause for this. There is many causes for this.
Mm-hmm.
First, the first cause or the first seed come from the time or the day when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam choose Imam Ali alayhi salam to sleep on his bed at the time of the Hijrah. That's one of the causes. Second, come another cause, because the causes here is accumulative.
Right.
Here comes the second cause, when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he migrate to Al-Madinah, he make the muakhat, the brotherhood between all the Muhajirin and the Ansar, and he left Imam Ali and told him, you are my brother in the dunya and the akhirah, and you are for me, the relation between you and me is like the relationship between Musa and Harun.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first time the Prophet said that, and this is written in Sunni books.
Yes.
So that is another another major cause. And then come a third cause, come in the battlefield, in the battle of, especially in the battle of Badr, Uhud, and Al-Ahzab, and Hunayn. The heroism shown by Imam Ali alayhi salam in this battle was one of the causes to the later on the attack on the house of Syeda Fatima Zahra alayhi salam. And then come the two major events.
So,
I
Dr. Atim,
call them the two major events.
one question before we go into the two major events, just to think about like these things. These are some things that Imam Ali did because there was no one else doing those things. But how
Yeah.
would that create the causes of animosity? Because everyone had the chance of doing that. It's
Yes. The main reason that they were witnessing the 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 closing relationship tighten between the Prophet and Imam Ali.
Okay.
They start to see it developing more and more every day. And with every time, yes, they have the chance to fight, but at the end, they are hypocrites. They didn't want to do that.
Right.
But Imam Ali, through his effort, he earned his position in the heart of the Prophet and in the heart of the true Mu'mineen too, in the Muslim community. So that bring him more and more closer to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to the decisive moment which will come when the Prophet died. Then come these two events which was so clear. The event of Ghadir, and right after it comes the event of the Mubahala. It was so clear after that. That's it. That was the main cause at the end. But its root start from before the Hijrah. It started far before the death of the Prophet. It started in Mecca, when they start to show the status of Imam Ali to the Prophet, start to growing bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until it become for them like a cancer. And they have to remove this cancer.
Mm.
So the attack of the house of Syeda Fatima Zahra was was a surgery they were trying to do to uh, uh, to take this cancer out for them, which is Imam Ali alayhi salam.
Mm.
Why? Because their eyes were on the inheritance of the political state of the Prophet, built by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Mm.
Just keep the political approach always in your mind, and let the religion set aside for now. Just we are talking purely politics now. Some people are so ambitious, and they saw a rival for them start to rise like the black horse, like a rising star.
Mm.
Every day he bring himself through his actions, through his bravery, more closer to the Prophet and more dominating in the Muslim community.
Right. So,
So
so Dr.
they can't find any solution except to do this massive surgery to take Imam Ali out after the death of the Prophet.
God. So, Dr. Hatim, I think we can pause here. I'll put out a few questions for you, and then we can continue our discussion in the next session. And
Okay.
the questions are so. First of all, thank you very much. Like, this is very insightful.
Yes.
Um, One question is, was there any behavior that showed that some people were jealous at the time of the Prophet? Second question is, there is a big argument that Sahaba can never be wrong, or even if they're wrong, they're like doing khata ishtihadi, so we cannot comment on that, and everything is forgiven, the Adalatul Sahaba. So the third question is, so since everyone had the opportunity, why weren't they like like it is hard to believe like no one tried to come close, even though there are narrations that talk about like certain Sahaba giving all of their wealth and XYZ as if they were the most highest regarded. So these are three questions that kind of come out of the discussion that I would like to discuss in the next.
Yes, yes, but as long as you are injecting the issue of the religion in the matter, you always you are struggling uphill,
Mm,
because just you say the Sahaba and they are infallible and all this religion. I
okay,
don't
got it.
want to discuss it as a religion. I want to
Got
discuss
it.
it
Got it.
as a political matter.
Got it.
Anyhow, we can stop here, but of course, next time I need to focus more with you on this issue that as an investigator now,
Mhm.
first you have most of the Sunnis, they doubt that there is they can tell you there is no crime. What you are searching for what? So you
Exactly.
have to prove that there was a crime in the first place.
Exactly.
You have to prove that the death of Sayyidah Fatima Zahra was not normal. You
Yes.
become like a detective. They call you and come. There is somebody who collapsed and died on the driveway. Okay, so it looks like natural death, right? So there is no case here. Why you have to make a big deal out of it? Out of it. So you have to first prove that there was a crime, that
Mm,
this death was not natural.
mm.
And starting from here, you start to do your investigation.
Got it.
That is
Got
very important.
Yes.
Otherwise, they tell you you are looking for that there was no crime. And
Yes.
second, the event of the attack of the house of Zayda Fatima Zara has one of of three possibilities, no fourth. Either this event never happened, that is the
Mhm.
first possibility, or second, it it happened, but not the way the Shia try to show. It was totally different aspect. And the third possibility, that it happened exactly as the Shia described it. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have to try to discuss all these through possibility to reach which possibility of them is more closer to the logic. Okay,
Perfect.
Farhan. Inshallah, next time we'll continue. Inshallah.
Inshallah, Dr. Adam.
Thank you,
Thank you very
Habibi. May
much.
Allah bless you بحق محمد وآل محمد.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.